So for this track, just for fun, I decided to use only sounds from the Final Fantasy X sound font, which actually is pretty fire. I'll leave a link to it in the description, but it's pretty easy to find any sound font for pretty much any game you like. Let's just get into this beat. I got it laid out here. I'm gonna go through, I guess, just break down the sounds and why I chose to do what I did and that type of stuff. First things first, I start off with this piano. Chose this sound E piano from Bassline. Usually my chords are like a lot more in your face, and for this one I wanted them to be sort of laid back and open because I knew I was going to add, you know, a shit ton of sounds and a bunch of layering and all that. So that's what I was thinking when I was making these chords. Here's how the chords sound. I really like this part at the end. I feel like it just adds a little bit of swag, and when it comes back in, it just feels really nice. But if you take a look at these chords for a second, like a lot of these chords, I'm just doing the same thing, you know? Just taking out certain notes, pitching notes up and down an octave. All right, the next thing that I added, and this is actually something I add a lot in my melodies, is like, I call it like a movement sound, sort of just like a running pattern. I don't know how to describe it, but you'll hear what I mean. And for this one, I put some delay on it, free delay too, with the time at 4, and I turned the cut down and volume and put it on ping pong, and that gave it a bunch of movement. I'll play it by itself, and then I'll show you guys what it did to the chords. Real simple. So it's like, I broke it down into two things. There's this top layer, and then I played with a bunch of the velocities to give it some more natural sounding stuff. Then I added these notes at the bottom to like set the tone a bit. Sounds a little darker now. And then with the chords, that's how this sounds. I think this plays out through the entire, yeah, pretty much the entire song this is playing. And it doesn't really get old for me because the chords are changing, you know? It's kind of just in the background. So yeah, from there, I decided that I needed some sort of percussive element. I got this timpani, I don't know how to say that word.
How do you pronounce the name timpani?
So I added this timpani, right? So it's like this sound. Kind of just something that you hear in a lot of video game soundtracks and a lot of like more like anthem type tracks, you know? Like, yeah. Just feels like you're in a battle, you know? And I mess with the velocities a bunch to just make it sound more real, I guess. This is how it would sound if I didn't mess with the velocities at all. Stale. And then I think I added a bit of switch up at the end. You know? And here's how it sounds so far. Whenever I'm at this point in the song where the chords are sounding good and I feel like the ideas are just flowing from there, it's really just easy and it's just fun. And I just start messing around and like start adding a bunch of different sounds just for fun, you know? From here, I felt like I needed a bass. So I got this fretless bass from the Blitzball Gamblers section thingy. And I don't really remember what was going through my head, you know? Just trying to play the root notes, I guess, of the chords. Trying to make it sound swaggy. That's kind of it. And this is the bass line that I came up with. Really like this part and this part. From here, pretty much the song is done, you know? I just added a couple more things to like give it like a... I just added a couple more things from here on out to just give it more energy and like kind of a hook, you know? I don't know why I keep doing this. It's hard talking to a camera. I think I added these strings next because this part, I was like satisfied with this, but it really just kind of feels like a verse, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't really feel like hype. So I decided to add these strings and I layered two strings. I got the strings A and then I got the choir A. Here's how these sound. Really, really, really like these chords. This right here is a chord that I use all the time. It's just one of these ones. You just pitch the notes around, you know? What is this? So it's just a major 7th with this, you know? But I really like this chord a lot. Like that sounds super nice. Then I added this in the end, but you can't even really hear it in this song. But then I decided to layer that with a choir. Kind of just sounds good together. And from there, I'm just having fun, you know? So I'm just adding more and more sounds. Got this acoustic guitar. And then we got these like staccato strings that come in later in the song. just builds hype, you know? I wanted to add like transitions between sections of the song, so I added this synth strings section. I don't even know what I was doing. I was just playing stuff in the scale, you know? But it sounds nice. And I also forgot to mention earlier, but this little piano part, I added this little melody on top of it for when the hook comes in. Just makes it a little bit better. And then everything's pretty much done, but we have this melody right here that I'm really, really proud of. I feel like this is a really strong counter melody. I actually think part of this I played in on my piano, and then I just sort of went back and clicked in the rest. I decided to just layer it with a bunch of sounds to make it feel a lot bigger. And we got this flute with a bunch of reverb, and I also added these 2 notes up here. I added some Valhalla with this preset. Here's how all 3 of those sound together. Just sounds really nice. Just sounds super nice. And I just had that play a couple times throughout the track just to like build the hype, I guess. And that's pretty much the whole song. So because I used Final Fantasy X sound fonts for this one, I was trying to envision like where in the game this would fit, and I feel like it kind of perfectly fits in the scene of Yuna's wedding. This part is just so sick. So that's Yuna's wedding. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Let me know if there's any other types of videos like this you'd want to see. I kind of want to step away from like the tutorial based content, but I'm still totally down to make like breakdowns like these. I really want to get my music in a video game someday, and making this type of stuff I feel like is just practice for when that happens. And yeah, that's really what I want to focus on, you know, video game sort of stuff. And yeah, if you're making a video game and you need any music for it, please feel free to DM me. I'd love to talk about it and like work on that. You can also stream Yuna's wedding on all platforms. It's on SoundCloud, Spotify, all that. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.